The Continuity of Parks. The Continuity of Parks is a short story written by Julio Cortázar, which is, according to Lauro Zavala, simultaneously the fiction and metafiction most studied in the history of literature. In the story, reality and fiction intertwine through a story within a story. The frame story presents a man reading a novel on his return to his home estate after completing some urgent business in town. The novel that he is reading. The embedded story describes two lovers who meet in a cabin in the woods, with a plan to destroy that other body. The structure of the story is broken when one of the characters of the novel, the embedded story, introduces himself into the reality of the frame story. The reader of the novel is an ironic adaptation of Cortázar's passive reader, who does not want problems but solutions, or false problems that allow others to suffer comfortably sitting in his chair, without committing himself to the drama that should also be his. At the end of the story, the drama he does not want to be a part of is his own. The name of the story refers to the three contexts, or reality plans, which are identified as parks. The first is the author and reader of the continuity of parks. The second is the frame story of a man of business reading a novel. And the third is the embedded story about the two lovers. Plot summary. The story begins with a landowner reading a novel that he had started a few days earlier. He had been sidetracked by business matters and a trip to town to discuss the matter of joint ownership. But on his return to his estate, he resumes reading the novel. He sits in a high-backed, green velvet armchair, savoring the almost perverse pleasure of reading the story while enjoying his cigarettes and the view of the park from his study window. In his novel, a man and woman, two lovers, meet in the woods to carry out a plan. The novel that the businessman is reading is about a couple of lovers who are meeting in a cabin in the woods. He has a wound on the face from a branch, and she is waiting for him. She wants to caress him but he rejects her because they have planned this meeting to finalize how they were going to kill someone. They review their alibis and eliminate possible errors. Nightfall is approaching. In the second paragraph, the woman goes north, while the man approaches a house on the estate. Armed with the dagger, the man goes inside the house, all according to plan, and sees his victim, a man sitting in a green velvet armchair reading a novel. At that moment, the two stories join, as the real reader realizes that the man in the chair is the victim of the two lovers in the novel he is reading. Characters in the story. The man reading, despite owning an estate and attending to matters of joint ownership in town. The man enjoys the privacy of reading a romantic murder mystery in his study. Through his perspective, the narrator describes the dual consciousness in the experience of reading. He is absorbed into the fictional world of his novel while still being aware of kinesthetic sensations of his own world, such as the texture of the chair, the cigarettes at hand, and the wind blowing outside. The heroine is a woman is meeting her lover at a mountain cabin in the woods. She is apprehensive, caught in a sordid dilemma, and is meeting for the last time in the cabin to finalize plans and alibis before heading north. The hero. He is the woman's lover. The wound on his face from a branch and his rejection of the woman's caresses suggests his impatience and tension. He carries a dagger and has been given information about the layout of house, the absence of dogs and estate manager, and the location of his victim. Through his point of view, the narrator vividly describes his movements, the details of the house, and his victim. A man reading. End of the story. Thank you.